Hey, good afternoon everyone. Today we're coming at you from Baltimore, Maryland, and the Maryland Zoo. Always love checking out a new zoo. And today, we've never been here before, so we're gonna check out all the animals and the exhibits. I go by the Legend, joined by my wonderful girlfriend Molly.
I'm excited.
Let's go to the zoo. The zoo is off to a good start. The first exhibit you see is prairie dogs.
Look at the one eating, he's so cute.
Yeah, they have so many prairie dogs. Larger ones, smaller ones.
They were making noises earlier.
Yeah. They have little holes that they dig. Oh, sorry. Look at this guy. They're so cute.
We'll definitely take one home.
Aww. This exhibit here is for one of my personal favorite animals, the penguin. And they have African penguins. This is one of the nicest enclosures I've ever seen for African penguins.
It is a giant.
Yeah, really big.
Swim.
And these guys are really cute. The zoo does do a lot of upcharges with the penguins, so there's like penguin encounters, and you could sit on it on a training session. I think you could feed them as well, which I was really tempted to do. And the penguin enclosure gets even nicer as there's a large penguin education center with big windows. Now, unfortunately, while we're here, the penguins are all on the other side, but it would be great to see them swimming underneath the water over here. Look at how many penguins they have.
They have so many. And that one's waddling over. Waddle, 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 waddle. Gonna go join his friends.
So the penguins have access to this indoor house. And watching the little penguins come out kind of one by one of the house is really neat. So many penguins. So every day at 10:30 and 3:30 it is penguin feeding time. Big buckets of fish. Very excited penguins. Having lunch. This next section of the zoo is the polar bear watch. And there is the polar bear. It's either a female or not a full-grown polar bear, because it definitely looks on the smaller side as it walks on by. Get some good smells. And it's cool, a lot of zoos don't have polar bears, so to see them is not super common. The enclosure is pretty nice. Looks like there's a viewing area up there on that big truck. There is two different sections to the polar bear enclosure as well. One with like underwater viewing. Let's wait for the polar bear to walk by one more time. Aww. They do have a bunch of different viewing areas for the polar bear, and here you can see them not behind glass, which is always nice. Oh, it's time to do his business.
Here we got a beautiful bald eagle.
We made our way back to the polar bear enclosure, and there is a second polar bear out now. Both of them are kind of relaxing. It looks like it's almost nap time here for the polar bears. Oh. So the next area of the zoo is the African Journey. This enclosure here is for the Sitatunga, which is a deer-like animal. That one's enjoying a drink of water.
No, I know those animals. I know they're African animals, of course, but
yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with them either. They have a ton of room here for them though. So you've got one over here wandering over. Very slowly. Now you probably heard these guys while we were looking at the Sitatungas. They've got some very, very colorful flamingos here. The African section of the zoo does have a very nice aviary. Not a lot of birds in here on our visit, but we are visiting on a day when it is 40-something degrees. We got some cool ducks though.
So the rhinos are off exhibit right now, but they have a massive exhibit here, which is good. And they have like a little pond, a very nice habitat for them.
Here you can see a leopard. Just absolutely beautiful animals.
And their enclosures,
Yeah,
nice too.
Very modern. Lots of things for the leopard to climb on.
And he's really pretty.
Yeah. Here's a very large enclosure here for some kudu. And there is a gazelle in here, and he is about as far away from people as he can be, all the way over there.
Is he eating?
I think
Looks like his mouth is moving.
Yeah, it does look like he's eating and observing whatever is going on outside of his world here at the zoo.
Trimming the lands of the park.
Looks like we got some cheetahs over here.
He's so long.
Yeah, trying to go in and out of nap time. And then you got his pal who's enjoying the sun. They're kind of in classic cheetah pose.
That one, I think he thinks he's the king of the rock.
Sleeping over here, you got a couple of African crested porcupines.
They're enjoying cuddling.
Yeah, they are. And the sun.
I think they would weigh more than 55 pounds.
Me too. Aww. It's the common warthog here.
Pumbaa!
Yeah, they have really big warthogs and long hair. Up, I think his friend's coming over, who's the larger one. Aww.
Here we have the lion. He was just up moving around. They're doing what lions do. He was just laying down. I'm actually surprised he's awake since the lion sleeps most of the day. And then there's a female lion off in the distance right over here, facing away from the camera. But it's cool that he's awake. Nope. He's a big lion too.
This is a wonderful sign. Please do not feed the squirrels, no matter what they say. And what I'm assuming is probably going to be the largest exhibit at the zoo is for the African elephants. They have at least 3. And these are some big guys.
He's swaying like me.
Yes.
I sway a lot.
You do. This elephant here who has a nice pool, kind of giving us the business end. Give one more elephant over here. Just a beautiful, beautiful animal.
And something I don't think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
a deer?
He's got a friend. This little deer is paired up with this very large elephant. So the deer, who's partnered up with that elephant, wandered over to us.
He has a wet nose.
He's looking right at us. Hey, buddy. We're now in the giraffe house, which does not only have giraffes in it, but you can see an okapi over here as well.
Which makes sense because they're relatives.
Yeah.
But they don't like each other.
They don't like each other.
No.
Oh no. And of course the giraffe house is home to giraffes.
Of course.
They do have an indoor and outdoor area. The outdoor area does have a giraffe feeding opportunity.
But it is cold.
Yeah, a little cold today. No, yeah.
At all.
But they do like big things of hay at height level.
Yes.
On the day we're visiting, I think it's probably too cold for lemurs, but I really like their lemur enclosure. They have like 4 different areas they could go to, and they're all connected with tunnels. So the lemur enclosure and those tunnels, they go on for way longer than I thought. Like they go all the way into the chimpanzee forest building, and I feel bad for one poor lemur. He got halfway there and then dropped his blankie. So we did follow that lemur tunnel into the chimpanzee forest. So, yeah, the tunnel goes all the way inside the building, and it's a really neat exhibit in here. They also got a couple of frogs, as you can see this guy moving over here. Oh no, he dropped. These guys are Panamanian gold frogs. Really vibrant color on them. It is lunchtime over here for the black and white colobus monkey. Looks like he's got a strawberry. And then there's another one over there. And of course the chimpanzee forest would be home to chimpanzees, including this little bundle of joy here.
His ears are so big, it's so cute.
So that's Violet.
Oh,
And her mom Raven.
giant ears. So that's little baby Violet. They do have a bunch of chimpanzees in here as well. And we followed the lemur tunnels for a while, and we finally found the lemurs, where it looks like it's lunchtime for the red ruffs. The chimpanzees do have a very large yard outside as well, way off in the back, so not the easiest thing to see. This barnyard symbolizes that we're heading towards the children's zoo area. Look at how cute these little donkeys are. This guy, he's so fluffy over here. And his buddy, that's a pretty donkey. This fluffy looking fella here is a Cotswold sheep. Walking over to see us. A couple of noisy goats. Oh.
I think there's a pig.
This guy who we heard making noises earlier. These two are Kune pigs.
They grow up to 220 pounds. Yeah, that's big.
And they make hilarious noises. It is dinner time for the alpacas, who seem to be quite enjoying their meal. Not normally a barnyard animal, these guys, helmeted guinea fowl. Not open at the moment, but what I imagine would be very popular, the silo slide. Here you can see the goat corral, aptly named, but also over there.
Gorgeous peacock.
Yeah. Nope. For a couple of bucks, you can ride the carousel, including a penguin.
That's not one that you see much.
No. Why, Molly? What time is it right now?
I think beer 30.
Beer 30 indeed. Drinking a New Belgian Fat Tire. Love that beer. And about $7.
Not bad.
Another attraction here at the zoo you can do for a couple bucks is the train ride. Takes you through most of the zoo. I'm not sure how many animals you see, but it does go for a pretty good ways. So unfortunately closed for our visit is the Maryland Wilderness section of the zoo, which I think would have been a lot of fun. There's a bobcat back there, there's otters back there, but unfortunately the section of the zoo is closed at the moment. And that'll do it for our time here at the Maryland Zoo. Not the biggest zoo in the world. We were here for about 2 hours or so.
And I was walking slow, so
Yeah.
probably an hour and a half roughly, probably.
Yeah, maybe more if the Maryland section is open.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. Not the biggest zoo in the world, but everything they had was really nice quality. Like nothing feels old or dated. Some of the exhibits like that, the polar bear exhibit and the penguin exhibit, those were like top-notch world-class exhibits.
Yes. And some of the exhibits are huge.
Yes.
Like the rhino one.
Did you have a favorite animal?
The polar bear, because you don't see polar bears that much.
No, they're kind of a rare zoo animal. Those were some of my favorites, and I also really like the penguins.
Yes.
But the deer hanging out with the elephants, and as we found out, those were just wild deer. Those were not zoo deer.
Yeah, apparently they're all over the zoo.
Yep.
And they just wander in.
Yep, and some of the elephants are friendly with it, and some of the elephants hate the deer. And so those deer just exist in this park the zoo happens to be located in.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and one more thing, I love the prairie dog exhibit. There were so many of them. Those guys are so adorable, and they were just squeaking and making noise, and that was fantastic.
What was the African animal that we haven't seen?
The sitanga?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, they were very fuzzy.
And I have to say, the staff and the volunteer staff are incredibly friendly.
Yes.
They are knowledgeable and very
helpful.
helpful and friendly. They'll talk to you, answer your questions.
So overall, I give the zoo a big thumbs up. $22 to get in. I think we got our value for that. There is no parking charge, so I would recommend checking out the Maryland Zoo. If you got questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below, and thank you very much for watching.